We will today understand the difference between explicit wait and fluent wait, where explicit wait is used and where fluent wait is used, the practical use cases of it, and why synchronization is important, why we need to provide explicit wait and fluent wait only in the automation test framework. Okay, this we will understand. So always, like I have explained in my previous video as well, avoid thread.sleep and implicit wait while implementing the wait condition in the automation framework. So explicit wait is a wait which waits for a specific condition to occur before proceeding. What I mean by that is, like, explicit wait is designed for looking out for a specific condition, like if an element is present, if the invisibility of any particular locator we want before the scripts execute, then we provide this. So what explicit wait does is, whenever we provide explicit wait, then it waits for a particular element for a particular interval of time. The driver waits, like if I have provided 10 seconds, then driver will wait for 10 seconds, but it will not wait for 10 seconds if the element is loaded before 10 seconds. So then it will execute the element and it will not wait all 10 seconds unless thread.sleep. Okay, because thread.sleep, whether if the element which we are looking for has loaded in 1 second, then also it waits for 10 seconds. Okay, but here it is not the case. We What explicit wait does is, there is a polling time, like 500 millisecond is the default polling time which is provided for the explicit wait. What this polling time does is, like if I have provided a explicit wait of 10 second, and if the 500 millisecond is the default polling time, so here in this case it will check every 500 millisecond whether the web element or whether the locator or whether the DOM elements have been loaded. If like in 2 seconds the DOM element has been loaded, so polling will happen for fourth time, and in fourth time if it has found like the DOM element has been loaded, then the script or whatever the explicit wait we have provided, like element to be visible, if this condition executes, then driver will not wait for 10 seconds. So it will execute the scripts, and further the test execution of whatever we are testing happens, and the next methods gets loaded or gets executed. I hope you got the explicit wait. Now explicit wait is particularly used for two conditions, or there are many conditions, but I will, like, many conditions are there for explicit wait. You can search in internet. I will provide like two examples, practical cases, like where the explicit wait is particularly used. So like as we have discussed, it waits for element to be clickable. So till the element loads we have provided the wait. Second, it waits for the loader or the spinner. We have seen in many applications there is a default spinner of like 1 second or 2 second is there, and if the spinner appears and we have without providing the wait, we have directly implemented the test automation scripts or executed the test automation script, then scripts will automatically fail because they are unable to find the DOM element which is present, which appears after the spinner loading time. Okay, so we need to provide a particular explicit wait, like wait for like wait until this spinner or the loader to be invisible. So we provide condition like wait dot until expected conditions invisibility of element located loader till whenever the loader gets invisible, then the execution of the test scripts will happen. I hope you got the point. There are many other use cases of explicit wait, but you can research it or you can search it in the internet. Then we will move to fluent wait. So fluent wait is explicit wait only. Okay, yeah, the so fluent wait is customizable explicit wait only. What I mean by this is like we have a default polling time we have discussed in explicit wait, that is 500 millisecond. But what if I need to customize this polling interval? So in those cases we can use fluent wait. Okay, so if we like, when this is a practical use case, whenever, if for a particular application or a particular website the backend is slow, like it's like it takes 2 to 3 seconds, and we know that like it takes 2 to 3 seconds to load uh, or to get the response from the backend system. So in those cases, why to use explicit wait where default polling time is 500 millisecond? We can use fluent wait. Like we can use fluent wait of like 3 seconds if it takes 3 seconds. So this will remove the unnecessarily load on the driver. So this is one of the practical use cases of fluent wait. Second use cases is like if we need to ignore some exceptions. Now the question will come, why particularly we will ignore the exceptions, as we need to provide them to because these exceptions provide us to get the better idea of what is happening behind the system. So why we need to particularly ignore such kind of exceptions? There are few use cases in test automation scripts, like whenever there is a React heavy app or there is a frequent DOM re-rendering, so their element changes frequently. So if we are not providing a fluent wait, then whenever the script loads, then it will default many times will throw no such element exception or stale element reference exception, because the scripts are not able to find that particular uh, element which they are going to find. So or they, because of the frequent DOM changes in the React app, or so in those use cases or in those cases, every time we will get this type of exceptions, and many times we need to rerun the scripts to check. Instead of that conversion work, what we can do is, like, we provide fluent wait and we ignore this kind of situations or this type of condition, like ignore no such element exception, ignore stale element reference exception. So in this case what will happen is, this wait, the scripts will not fail because of this exception uh, cases, but script will basically wait for that particular, after the ROM re-rendering happens or whatever happens, whenever the element is present, script will wait for it. It will not throw no such element exceptions, tail element reference exception, and the script will then execute. In and by this way we can avoid many test cases failure, and we avoid the rerunning of the test scripts, like generally we do, right, in no such element exception or like stale element reference exception. It is uh, like by default, like we need to rerun those scripts, there is no other way out. So we can avoid this kind of situation by providing the fluent wait. Now fluent wait is the original class only, like the explicit wait has been derived from fluent wait only. So this is the only main class which is implemented internally for the wait conditions in Selenium. Okay, so this you must remember, because interviewer may ask you about this. What we do is, like, uh, whenever we are providing a fluent wait or explicit wait, generally it is a good practice to keep them in utility folder. What I mean by that is we need to separate this wait conditions folder and provide each and every explicit wait conditions there, fluent wait conditions there, and whenever these are required from our main methods for usage, we can use from this. This is a good coding practice, and by this way the code is more like structured and more readable. Okay, so this is one of the coding practice you must keep in mind. So I will show you that kind of method only, so this is one of the uh, one of the method which is using this fluent wait. One more thing which I forgot you to tell is in fluent wait we can implement lambda functions, but in other ways we cannot do that. Okay, anything which is customizable we can do it in fluent wait. This is the main and most practical uh, what I can say advantage of fluent wait. As you can see here, we have implemented the lambda function and we are implementing the fluent wait for this particular method. I hope you got the point.